Title 8. Crimes Against Persons. Chapter 1. Destruction of Life. Section 1. Parricide, Murder, Homicide. Article 246. Parricide. Any person who shall kill his father, mother, or child, whether legitimate or illegitimate, or any of his ascendants, or descendants, or his spouse, shall be guilty of parricide and shall be punished by the penalty of reclusion perpetua to death. Article 247. Death or physical injuries inflicted under exceptional circumstances. Any legally married person who, having surprised his spouse in the act of committing sexual intercourse with another person, shall kill any of them or both of them in the act or immediately thereafter, or shall inflict upon them any serious physical injury, shall suffer the penalty of destierro. If he shall inflict upon them physical injuries of any other kind, he shall be exempt from punishment. These rules shall be applicable, under the same circumstances, to parents with respect to their daughters under 18 years of age, and their seducer, while the daughters are living with their parents. Any person who shall promote or facilitate the prostitution of his wife or daughter, or shall otherwise have consented to the infidelity of the other spouse shall not be entitled to the benefits of this article. Article 248. Murder. Any person who, not falling within the provisions of Article 246 shall kill another, shall be guilty of murder and shall be punished by reclusion temporal in its maximum period to death, if committed with any of the following attendant circumstances. 1. With treachery, taking advantage of superior strength, with the aid of armed men, or employing means to weaken the defense or of means or persons to insure or afford impunity. 2. In consideration of a price, reward, or promise. 3. By means of inundation, fire, poison, explosion, shipwreck, stranding of a vessel, derailment or assault upon a streetcar or locomotive, fall of an airship, by means of motor vehicles, or with the use of any other means involving great waste and ruin. 4. On occasion of any of the calamities enumerated in the preceding paragraph, or of an earthquake, eruption of a volcano, destructive cyclone, epidemic or other public calamity. 5. With evident premeditation. 6. With cruelty, by deliberately and inhumanly augmenting the suffering of the victim, or outraging or scoffing at his person or corpse. Article 249. Homicide. Any person who, not falling within the provisions of Article 246, shall kill another without the attendance of any of the circumstances enumerated in the next preceding article, shall be deemed guilty of homicide and be punished by reclusion temporal. Article 250. Penalty for frustrated parricide, murder or homicide. The courts, in view of the facts of the case, may impose upon the person guilty of the frustrated crime of parricide, murder or homicide, defined and penalized in the preceding articles, a penalty lower by 1 degree than that which should be imposed under the provision of Article 50. The courts, considering the facts of the case, may likewise reduce by 1 degree the penalty which under Article 51 should be imposed for an attempt to commit any of such crimes. Article 251. Death caused in a tumultuous affray. When, while several persons, not composing groups organized for the common purpose of assaulting and attacking each other reciprocally, quarrel and assault each other in a confused and tumultuous manner, and in the course of the affray someone is killed, and it cannot be ascertained who actually killed the deceased, but the person or persons who inflicted serious physical injuries can be identified, such person or persons shall be punished by prison mayor. If it cannot be determined who inflicted the serious physical injuries on the deceased, the penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods shall be imposed upon all those who shall have used violence upon the person of the victim. Article 252. Physical injuries inflicted in a tumultuous affray. When in a tumultuous affray as referred to in the preceding article, only serious physical injuries are inflicted upon the participants thereof and the person responsible thereof cannot be identified, All those who appear to have used violence upon the person of the offended party shall suffer the penalty next lower in degree than that provided for the physical injury so inflicted. When the physical injuries inflicted are of a less serious nature and the person responsible therefore cannot be identified, all those who appear to have used any violence upon the person of the offended party shall be punished by arresto mayor from 5 to 15 days. Article 253. Giving assistance to suicide. Any person who shall assist another to commit suicide shall suffer the penalty of prison mayor, if such person leads his assistance to another to the extent of doing the killing himself, he shall suffer the penalty of reclusion temporal. However, if the suicide is not consummated, the penalty of arresto mayor in its medium and maximum periods shall be imposed. Article 254. Discharge of firearms. Any person who shall shoot at another with any firearm shall suffer the penalty of prison correctional in its minimum and medium periods, unless the facts of the case are such that the act can be held to constitute frustrated or attempted parricide, murder, homicide or any other crime for which a higher penalty is prescribed by any of the articles of this code. Section 2. Infanticide and abortion. Article 255. Infanticide. The penalty provided for parricide in Article 246 and for murder in Article 248 shall be imposed upon any person who shall kill any child less than 3 days of age. If the crime penalized in this article be committed by the mother of the child for the purpose of concealing her dishonor, she shall suffer the penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods, and if said crime be committed for the same purpose by the maternal grandparents or either of them, the penalty shall be prison mayor. Article 256. Intentional abortion. Any person who shall intentionally cause an abortion shall suffer 1. The penalty of reclusion temporal, if he shall use any violence upon the person of the pregnant woman. 2. The penalty of prison mayor if, without using violence, he shall act without the consent of the woman. 3. The penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods, if the woman shall have consented. Article 257. Unintentional abortion. The penalty of prison correctional in its minimum and medium period shall be imposed upon any person who shall cause an abortion by violence, but unintentionally. Article 258. Abortion practiced by the woman herself or by her parents. The penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods shall be imposed upon a woman who shall practice abortion upon herself or shall consent that any other person should do so. Any woman who shall commit this offense to conceal her dishonor, shall suffer the penalty of prison correctional in its minimum and medium periods. If this crime be committed by the parents of the pregnant woman or either of them, and they act with the consent of said woman for the purpose of concealing her dishonor, the offenders shall suffer the penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods. Article 259. Abortion practiced by a physician or midwife and dispensing of abortives. The penalties provided in Article 256 shall be imposed in its maximum period, respectively, upon any physician or midwife who, taking advantage of their scientific knowledge or skill, shall cause an abortion or assist in causing the same. Any pharmacist who, without the proper prescription from a physician, shall dispense any abortive shall suffer arresto mayor and a fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos. Section 3. Duel. Article 260. Responsibility of participants in a duel. The penalty of reclusion temporal shall be imposed upon any person who shall kill his adversary in a duel. If he shall inflict upon the latter physical injuries only, he shall suffer the penalty provided therefor, according to their nature. In any other case, the combatants shall suffer the penalty of arresto mayor, although no physical injuries have been inflicted. The seconds shall in all events be punished as accomplices. Article 261. Challenging to a duel. The penalty of prison correctional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any person who shall challenge another, or incite another to give or accept a challenge to a duel, or shall scoff at or decry another publicly for having refused to accept a challenge to fight a duel,